Hello and welcome to our first ever digital impact report for Early Years Scotland. My name is Jane Brumpton and I'm the Chief Executive of Early Years Scotland, and I took up post in March 2020 last year, and I was previously the Deputy Chief Exec for 6 years prior to that. So this is a new approach for Early Years Scotland, and it's a new way of sharing our work with you. And we used to produce a hard copy version of our annual review, and we would share that with our members and stakeholders. But we decided to move with the times and consider creating a new online version of the impact report and share our work through a digital means. Early Years Scotland has a very strong social media presence, so we hope that in a lot of ways you're able to have a good insight into the work that we do. But through this new online impact report, we aim to share the 4 main areas of our work with you. The 4 main areas are our direct work with children and families, our membership support to the sector, our professional learning to support the early years sector, and our advocacy and advisory services to support children and families. So we very much hope that you enjoy hearing from our stakeholders in this new way, as we remain committed to supporting positive outcomes for Scotland's youngest children and families.
My name is Marion Burns, and I've been a member of the Early Years Scotland Board of Directors for a number of years now. As many of you will be aware, Barbara Dale stepped down as chair of the board in August this year, having held the post for a number of years. I am delighted and I'm excited to have taken up the role as the new chair of the board. I, along with the other members of the board, strongly believe in the vision and values of the organisation and feel proud of the impact the team continue to make on the lives of our youngest children and their families, and all those working across the sector for and on their behalf. So just a little bit about me. I have extensive knowledge and experience of working within the early years sector. My entire career has been in the education sector as a teacher, head teacher, education advisor for early learning and childcare, and for the last almost 20 years as an HMI working across ELC and primary schools. So why am I speaking to you today? Well, the team at Early Years Scotland reflected on their approach to reporting on the impact of their work. And they've made the decision to report their impact through the medium of video. So this video report will capture the voice of stakeholders and Early Years Scotland staff and provide an insight into the impact of our work across the 4 organisational strands from April 21 until now. So we hope you enjoy this video and share in our vision to support positive outcomes for our youngest children and their families.
So at Early Years Scotland, we've been providing our Stay, Play and Learn services now for a number of years, but we've been able to really maximise the outdoors throughout the pandemic. This funding's been incredible really for us to be able to enhance that, provide families with free, accessible play sessions within the parks within Glasgow and Dumfries and Galloway, and we've really been able to see the benefits and showcase the benefits of outdoor play with children and families.
The Get Into Summer sessions have been absolutely fantastic. Children and parents have loved this. It's been so great after just such a hard year for families to be able to come together, play, and for children to actually see each other and socialise again and just basically have fun.
If you look at it broadly, she's missed the company. So her mental health would be affected. Let's see this is helping her. Soft play on Tuesday, just the interaction with other kids, everything else, because she missed that last year.
Hello there, it's Christine here from Welly Walkers. We just wanted to say, and there's Elsie. We just wanted to say a big thank you to there's Lily, all the sessions that we have been joining in with you. And we wanted to say a wee thank you that we can interact with other adults and other children over your sessions that we've had, and we just wanted to say thank you ever so much. As a lone worker, it's been lovely to see other adults and be part of our group.
Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm an early years practitioner with Early Years Scotland, and I work as part of the prison team. Over the last year, it's been really challenging with the pandemic and not being able to run our services full. We've had to adhere to the SPS guidelines and their restrictions. However, since April, we've been able to resume the majority of our services. Our fathers and mothers programmes have gone ahead. We've been able to assist in some jails with contact sessions, and we are hoping in the next month or so, with the reduction in the restrictions, that we can go ahead with our family visits. It's been quite refreshing for our participants who have not been able to attend our programme, so coming back and being able to do that, getting out their cell and having time and talking about their families has been really important. The mental health situation within the prisons has been really challenging, so it's really good for them to be able to come and participate in something. We can see how enthusiastic the participants are, and they're just really desperate to get their families up to be able to play with their children. So when that is given the go-ahead, any participants who have taken part in the programme, they will be guaranteed a space in the visits, and that can go ahead as soon as possible. It's been really good having the support, from the funders to be able to go ahead and do this. It's really important, particularly for the children. The children, can then come up and spend time in a relaxed environment with their parent who they haven't seen. Some of them went 13 months without seeing their parents, so they're going to need a lot of support over the next few months to build those bonds and attachments again, because some of them are really struggling. The virtual visits were really, really good, and they're still being used. Our virtual visit boxes that we produced to support families through the online video calls that they were having, they've been a great asset to these, and we've been there to support them when we can. We're now going to hear from a couple of participants who have just completed the Fathers programme.
I enjoyed most about the children's programme is I learned all children under 18 have rights. Also, during the COVID, I was using the virtual boxes to interact with my daughter, who's only 1, and put on puppet shows, etc.
I enjoyed participating in the Fathers programme because there was a lot of learning on brain development for a baby. I also learned that if you've got bad habits, they'll become a kid's bad habits. I also learned how a baby needs the correct diet for the best potential for development.
My name is Elizabeth McMullen, and I am the Membership Relations Officer for Early Years Scotland. It's my role to contact our members to find out their views and their opinions on our services and our benefits from membership. I'd really love to share some of our recent feedback that we've received from our members from all over Scotland.
We can't thank Early Years Scotland enough. The information and guidance was sent out straight away. The services provided by Early Years Scotland is very much appreciated, and knowing that you're there and available to assist and guide is just fantastic.
Being a first-time manager, I have found the documents and policies that Early Years Scotland share on their site very useful to refer to. I have been using them as a guide when implementing and updating our own policies. They have reassured me to know I am on the right track, and if there is any further information that needs to be included.
I'm Teresa from Garskew Community Playrooms, and we've been members of Early Years Scotland for a very long time. Early Years Scotland are really a valuable source of support and information, especially if you're a new group just setting up, because they can give you lots of help with setting up a constitution, advice about finances. They can give you lots of help with your committee, which I know this year recently has been valuable to our chairperson because she had no experience, so the committee training was good.
The Early Years Scotland membership has enabled our team to access various resources, further learning and gain support, which has been beneficial to everybody, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 guidance that is issued for the early years sector is often pages and pages of lengthy information that contains jargon. which can be overwhelming for some practitioners. We've been through a period of consistent change, which can be daunting for many people, but I've found that the Early Years Scotland updates have been very user-friendly. They're easy to understand by all staff in all roles. They have confidence that they can embed this in practice. The updates have been straightforward. They highlight significant areas, which, as a manager who came into post during the COVID pandemic, it gives me confidence and a reassurance that I'm on the right path to lead a meaningful service for young children that is done so in a COVID-safe manner. The Early Years Scotland wellbeing tools are also very useful for staff. They can access resources and support at any time, and maybe in a way that they prefer. Some individuals may not feel comfortable to say that they need a little bit of support, so it's important to us to know that the staff have this self-care and that they can access tools and support at any time, and it's done in a way that they feel comfortable. The training offered by Early Years Scotland to practitioners is also great. We get membership discount for professional learning, which is brilliant to benefit professional development, following staff's interests. In our setting, we've had a lot of interest in courses that are focusing on schematic play and brain development. So I'll be in touch very soon with the Professional Learning Academy to get the staff signed up, get this organised for them. And as a manager, it's great to have support from organisations like Early Years Scotland, as it's helped me support my staff in their individual career plans, utilising their strengths and following their interests. And this contribution has enabled me to motivate practitioners and create a culture for learning.
Our spring, summer and autumn winter colour magazines, one designed for early years professionals and the other for parents, have provided a wealth of interesting articles on a variety of topics for our members. These have included, for example, learning outdoors, songs and rhymes, games, health and well-being, child development and safety, nutrition, sleep, book reviews and updates from the Scottish Government, Education Scotland, the Care Inspectorate and the Scottish Social Services Council.
Hi, my name's Michelle Doole. I'm Head of Professional Learning and Quality Assurance here at Early Years Scotland. I'm pleased to be able to report on the impact of our work in the Professional Learning Academy. We are extremely proud that we've been able to maintain the delivery of our professional learning during the last year. In particular, we've really adapted to using the virtual world. What's been really good is that we appreciated the challenges for people to engage in this way, but feedback has shown that people have embraced it, and we're able to adapt and support the needs of our participants in many different ways of the tools that you can use in the virtual world. We are also adopting an approach to online learning through funding from the William Grant Foundation has allowed us to become truly national, and our offer of a range of online courses, which again participants are saying meet their needs, because we have a different range, smaller, medium-sized and more collaborative courses for participants. At the end of the day, the work that we are doing through engagement with the sector supports children and families as we continuously seek to support practitioners in the many roles within the sector to support their practice in offering high quality provision for our youngest children. We are proud of what we're doing, but it's really interesting for you to hear from participants about how taking part in our professional learning has really impacted on their practice and their provision.
I'm Natasha McMillan and I'm an early stage teacher within Western Bartonshire Council and the creator of My Artistic Mindset. I've recently been able to attend and present at one of the events hosted by Early Years Scotland, where the focus was in fact transition. At this event, I was able to meet a whole variety of highly skilled practitioners from different authorities within Scotland, and also listen to the work of Dr. Marion Burns discuss the importance of transition within the early years. I find this event highly beneficial for many reasons. I love the fact that I was able to critically and analytically reflect my own practice so that I could personally improve. I love the fact that I'm able to gain insight into the high skilled practice of other establishments, and also it allowed me to connect on a deeper level with the guidance document that is realising the ambition with regards to transitions for the children within my care. I think that Early Years Scotland is doing a marvellous job at linking policy, pedagogy and practice, and I personally look forward to attending many future events.
ELC staff can explore our Wellbeing Hub to find resources, connect with others, sign up to an event and celebrate the valuable job that they all do at elcwellbeinghub.org.
My name is Lorna Kettles and I'm the Policy Officer with Early Years Scotland. My role is to make sure that all aspects of policy and decision making both reflect and represent the voices of the ELC sector, be that our members, settings, both regulated and unregulated, and the children and families that we work with. Normally, my role would be looking at things like consultations from the Scottish Government and Scottish Parliament committees, from the UK Government where appropriate, and producing reports and things like that. But obviously, over the last, not just 4 months, but the last sort of year and a half, things have been quite different. We've been lucky that we've been able to shift the focus of the work that we've done within Strand 4 and go from that sort of traditional policy role into something which was very much responsive and adapting to the changes within legislation and practice that were brought about by the pandemic. One of the most successful things I think that we've done over the last 4 months and prior to that is the easy read versions of the guidance that's been produced by the Scottish Government. So every time changes needed to be made, guidance was made for both regulated settings such as nurseries and unregulated settings such as playgroups and parent and toddler groups. We thought it would be really helpful for our members to make a shorter version of this document, something that was accessible, something that was written in pretty simple terms and plain terms, so that they didn't have to spend all their time looking over, oh, what does that mean and what does this mean? Whereas the information was just there in an easy read version. And then every time we had to change the guidance because there was an update or, we moved up a level, down a level, that sort of thing, we highlighted that in turquoise within the document. So settings only had to look for the bits that had changed rather than reading through the whole thing again. We're delighted that it's been very well received by members. It's given them more time to implement the changes rather than trying to work out what the changes should be that they've had to make. And we've also been able to provide support with any issues that they might have had around the changes that they've had to make. So it's been a really, really, really good thing. And it's been great for us as an organisation because it's something that perhaps we've not done before. So it's just added another strand to this area of work around policy and advocacy. The normal work that we do hasn't really been something that we've been able to do because things have changed so much. However, within the last 4 months, we have seen a return to the previous traditional policy role. So we're looking at some consultations around COVID recovery, we're looking at consultations around the creation of a national care service, just basically making sure that we can input in something that reflects what our members have experienced and also what our children and our families have experienced, a sort of in the round voice for the ELC sector as a whole. We've also been able to do a bit of high level policy work, which has been great. For example, the Skills Development Scotland Gender Commission, we've sat on that and we've helped them anyway to produce recommendations going forward around apprenticeships within not only the ELC sector but beyond, but basically making sure that gender stereotypes are broken down as early as possible and recognising the role the ELC has to play in that. So that's been really exciting and we look forward to the report that comes out of that. Similarly, we've also been involved with a project with the Indigo Childcare Group, so a bit of partnership working. They undertook an international workforce recruitment pilot prior to Brexit, prior to the pandemic, and we've evaluated that project for them, and that's gone back to the Scottish Government. So it's something, again, a bit different. And the biggest thing in terms of traditional policy work that we've done has been our manifesto. Very exciting opportunity to put out some calls that we as an organisation have had direct information from our members, from our children and families, things that they want to see changed. So we're looking forward to the programme for government that the Scottish Government's going to put out. We're going to do a bit of cross-party work, just making MSPs a bit more aware perhaps of the challenges and issues that are faced in our sector that they might not be aware of. So that's something that we're going to look forward to. But certainly the Easy Read guidance has made a big impact. It's made things much easier for members. It's given them more time to, as I say, to implement the changes rather than to work out what the changes are. And ultimately, the last year and a half has reinforced the importance of getting things right for our members and for our children and families. And I think that the work that we've done under Strand 4 through policy and advocacy has really helped them to do that.